Hey there, my name is Akshay and welcome back to Geeks for Geeks. And in today's video, I'll tell you about the null functions. Okay. So in today's video, we will cover three topics in total. Okay. So the topics are the null function, the comments, and the operators in Mysql. So let us start with the null function. So first, let me enter the Mysql command line. So this is what we were working on, right? So in the previous video, I have already explained you about multiple things in MySQL, like how do we create a database, how do we create tables inside that database, and how do we manipulate data inside those tables, right? So these much topics I have already covered inside this course, and we have also learned about multiple operators in MySQL. So let me start our today's video by showing you what database we created. So we have created the database GFG, right? And then we have created these many tables. So, like, it is a huge list. I have created these many tables inside this particular course only. And none of these tables data I have inserted without, you know, like performing it live inside this course. So, this shows us that you can create data inside tables inside this databases. Of GLG so that you may remember the syntax of all these tables again and again. I wrote the commands again and again so that you may remember the syntax and you may learn it by heart, like how do we create a table. So in today's video, we were going to learn about the null functions, right? Yeah. So the topic is null functions, and basically there are two null functions inside MySQL. First one is if null, and the other one is called this fullest is the second function uh, that is used as null function inside the MySQL. Okay, so we will learn about these two functions in detail in a few minutes. First, let me create a data. First, let me create a table to work on so that we may apply these commands on this particular table. So the table name will be, let's say, the table name should be uh, product orders. So PRODODRS is the table name, and inside this table, I'll create a number of columns. Like the first one is PID, and the data type should be integer. The length should be, let's say, 30, and I'll also give auto increment over here. I know I've not taught this command until now, but basically this command is used to insert the numbering without manually inputting it inside the insert command. So if we try to insert the rows inside this table and we don't provide the PID, it's gonna take the automatic numbering. Okay, and you can also give like where to start. Like if I give 1 over here, if I give 11 over here, then it's gonna start with 11 and it's gonna go on like 11, 12, 13, and 14. So that's how we use the auto increment. And I'll tell you about auto increment in further video. Okay. Now the next column is product name, and the product name should be of varchar, and the length should be 30. And the next column will be unit price. Unit price should be of double. Now what is double? So double is our data type which is used to store the double of float, and float was used to insert the data in the form of decimals, right? So float stores us the values which are the double stores us the values which are double in float. Okay, and that's how we use the data type double. And for the last column, not the last column, the second last column, the name will be units in stock, and the data type should be integer. Length should be 40. Okay. Then the other column, last column is unit order, and the data type should be integer. Length should be 30. Okay. So now we are done with creating our table. So let me put a semicolon and press enter. So wait, there is a problem in the SQL syntax. Units in stock, uh, 40. Wait, create table flow orders, then PID auto increment, then product name varchar, yeah. Then double should be the data type, right? Then I think I forgot the comma over here. So comma is used to give the values, like how many values do you want after the decimal. Okay. So then the unit price is already present. Then units in stock, right? Then after that, units on order is be defined as a key. Right. So I'll also have to define it as the primary key. Then for the second column, I'll use the product name, then unit price, then units in stock, then units on order, and this table is now created. Okay. So I'll show you the description of this table. That is product order. So this is our table, and as you can see, the primary key is applied over here, and I've also provided the auto increment over here. Now let us insert the data inside this table. Insert into product order, and the columns I use for the columns I use product name, then unit price, then unit in stock, then the last column is units in order. Right. So these are the columns which we want to insert data inside. Then the values I'll give. Let's say the values are 1. Then for the product name, it should be A. Then for the unit price, it should be 10.45. Then for the next column, I'll give 16. And next column, I'll give 15. Yeah, these are the values inside this table. And okay, I don't have to write down 1 over in the PID column because we are creating a database which has auto increment in the first column. Okay. So that's why we don't have to provide the value over there and it's going to insert it. Okay. So this row is now inserted. Now let me add 2 more rows. So for the next will be 32.56 and let me erase 45 and 23 units should be here and I'll provide null over here. Let's try the null values over here. Okay. Then for the third one, I'll change the data a bit more. And here it should be 9 and last value should be 20. So this row is now also inserted and let me show you the whole database. Yeah. So this is our table and these are the columns that we provided over here. Okay. Now let me try to run a query and to that query we are gonna do what? We are gonna multiply the unit price with unit in stock. Not unit in stock plus the units on order. Okay. So we are gonna multiply the units in price into the units in stock and add it to the units on order. So this addition operation should be performed first and then it should be multiplied by unit price. So that you may be able to know the whole price, right? So select product name, unit price, and I'll multiply it in units stock and add it to the unit on order. Yeah. So this is our query from product, right? Uh, Not products. Our table name was product order, right? So this is our query, and let me try to run it to show you the result. So this is the result of our query, and in this answer, it is representing that wait, unit price is multiplied by the addition of units in stock and units in order, right? So that is the basic use of this query. Now let us try to implement the if null function. So what is the use of if null function? The MySQL if null function lets you return an alternate value if an expression is null. Like if you want the output to be something else other than null over here, like we provided in the query that we have to add these two columns and multiply it with the unit price, right? But if but since there was a null value over here, then after the addition two, it's gonna show the null value, and if we multiply it with the unit price, it's also gonna show the null, right? So that's why it shows us the that answer null over here. Okay. So if we try to fix this, for that I'll write the same query again, and now I have to provide if null over here, and I have to put a bracket over here. Then I'll also have to put a bracket over there, and I'll give comma 0 over there. So if null, then it's gonna select the value as 0, right? So this is the basic query of if null, and let us try to use it. So, as you can see, it is showing us an output. Okay. So we didn't add this particular answer of this column that was null, right? So we added 0 to 23 and multiplied it with this number, and that is our answer, that is 748.8800, right? So this is the if null function in MySQL. Now moving on to the next function, that is whoils, and I don't know the exact pronunciation for that, so I'll just write it down. This is the function, and let me tell you the query for this function. So we'll use the same query again, and instead of if null, I'll write this over there, and the rest of the query will be same. Now let me try to run this, and it is also showing us the same result like in the previous one. So we can use both if null and colace over there, and both are gonna give the same thing as the output. Okay, so if this value is null, then it's gonna select 0 over there, right? So that is the uh, basic use of this function of null. Now moving on to the next thing, that is the comments in MySQL. So for the comments, how do we imply the comments in the SQL? So for writing the comments, you just have to write uh, slash and then star. Then after the slash and star, you can write any query, and it's not gonna show you the output. Select aspect from like this is the query, and if I try to press semicolon and enter, it is not showing us the output. Okay, now if I write something else over there, and I'll end this comment by using the star and slash. So this is the end of the comment, and after that you can provide anything you want, like the select aspect from north. And if I press enter, so only this query is running, and the rest of the code that we provided, like it was given inside these slash and star sign, right? So that code is not being executed because it is provided inside the comments. So that's how we give the comments inside the table. Like if I want to show you that this is customer table, and I'll start flash over there, and after that I'll give the select value. So as you can see, this is the comment over here, and this is our query. So that's how we provide comments inside the Mysql, and it is pretty basic, and you can use it anytime you want. So you can even comment out a little piece of code like select aspects, like select customer name, comma, contact name. Then after that, you don't want the address. For that, what I'll do, I'll put it to comments, and after that, I have given the table name. So as you can see, this piece of code over here, it's not being executed, and it is showing us the values of the other columns that we try to show inside the select column, right? So this is the use of comments in MySQL, and you can also give these comments when you are writing a large piece of code, and so that it may be easier for you to understand that code after sometimes that you're looking at it. So it will be easier for you to understand that what does this code mean, and you can provide some instructions over there. Okay, so that's how we use the comments in MySQL. Now moving on to the next topic. So the next topic is operators in MySQL. Now I'm pretty sure I've already explained you this topic thoroughly in the previous videos, but today's video I'll show you what are the different operators again, so that it may be easier for you to remember it later when you're working on this table. So this thing is important over here, right? So MySQL operator. Now there are different kind of operators in MySQL. So the first one are arithmetic operators. Okay, so for the arithmetic operators are like addition, subtraction, and multiplication, and division, and also the modulus one. So these are the arithmetic operators in MySQL that we use, and I'll tell you the usage of all of these operators one by one. Okay, so first let us look at the addition operator. So wait, let us have a look at the addition operator. So for using the addition operator, you just have to write it like this: 10 plus 4, and if I press a semicolon after that and run it, so this query shows me the addition of two numbers. And in a similar way, you can also provide subtraction over there. Okay. So this shows us the values of 10 minus 4, right? And in a similar way, you can multiply these values as well, and divide these values. Okay, so it is showing us the output in the decimal form because this number was not the integer, right? So yeah, this works perfectly. And if I use the modulo over there, it is going to show me the remainder. So it shows me the remainder as 2 because 10 divided by 4 gives a remainder of 2, right? So yeah, these are very useful in MySQL if you are trying to run queries. And let us move on to the next thing, that is the bitwise operator. Okay. So for the bitwise operators, there are three operators in total, that are and for the or, this straight line is used, that is under your backspace button, and there is one more, that is the cap. So cap should be available on the sixth key of your keyboard. Okay. Now, what are these used for? So this and is bitwise and this bitwise, the straight line is used for bitwise or, and the last one, that is the cap one, was used for bitwise exclusive or. Now you'll learn about these things when you're working on a database, and I'm not gonna get into these things because they're not very useful inside our day-to-day life usage. Like if you're trying to create a HTML form and you're trying to get the data inside that form, into a database using the MySQL. So these things are not very useful, so I'll not get into detail. And let us move on to the next kind of operators. So for next kind of operators are comparison. Yeah. So the next kind was comparison operators, and there are six in total. That is equal to, greater than, equal to, less than or equal to. Then there is less than, greater than. The last one is not equal to. So the not equal to is represented by this sign, that is less than followed by greater than. So yeah, these are all the six operators of comparison in MySQL, and I'm pretty sure you already know the usage of most of these operators by now, because inside this course I have used them thoroughly, and I've also tried using them in multiple operations. So I'll show you the use of one of these operators, right? So, and you can implement the rest when you work. So, let me show you right, from customers. So, this is our customers table, and let me print the row. Select asterisk from, not select asterisk from customers, and after that, I'll give a where condition, and inside the where condition, I'll give like the customer ID should be equal to true. This is our query, and that's how we use the operator. Now, if I want to use the less than or equal to, I can also use that, and this is the query for that. And we have used less than or equal. And in the similar ways, you can use the other operators as well, like the greater than or equal to, or the less than or simple greater than. Or you can also use the not equals to. So you may remember this one. This is not equals to. Now, if I write, yeah. So this is printing all the rows which are not equal to 2, right? Now, why does it not print the null values? Because that rows does not satisfy this condition, that value is null and it's not 0. So that's why it's not considered, null is not considered as 0 in the SQL. It's just null, that nothing is inside that particular value. Okay, so these are the comparison operators. Then moving on to the next thing, that is the compound operators. So there are multiple compound operators as well. So I'll write them down. First one is add equals to, then subtract equals to, then there is multiply equals to, then there is divide equals to, and modulo equals to, then and equals to, then cap minus. This is wrong. So the right one is cap minus equals to, and the last one is or star equals. So the first one is add equals, second one is subtract equals, third one is multiply equals, fourth one is divide equals, and the fifth one was modulo equals, as I've just explained you, right? Now the rest of these are bitwise and equals, bitwise exclusive equals, and the last one is bitwise or equals. So these are all the compound operators in MySQL, and if you are working on a complex projects, you can use these operators over there, and they'll be very useful to get the specific data that you want. Now moving on to the next thing, that are the logical operators. So I have already explained you about the multiple logical operators in MySQL, and I have taught you all of these operators in previous videos. So I'll not get into detail. So the logical operators are all, and, any, and we have covered any in the previous video, right? Between, sys, then in, like, not, or some. So we have used all of these operators in the previous videos. Even if you have not watched all of these videos, then it's very it's not very difficult to get all of these operators. You can search for their documents in the web, and when you are trying to implement this, just have a look at the documents, and you will instantly know the usage of these operators. And that's how we use the operators in MySQL. So these are all kind of operators in MySQL, and yeah. So I think that is it for this video, guys. And let me show you another thing, and have a look at this. So to, if you are having any doubts regarding this course, you can just comment your questions in the comment section below, or you can go to practice.geeksforgeeks, and you can go to courses over there, and over here you can search for anything that you want to learn, and you can buy these courses from this website. And all of these courses are taught by professional mentors, and you'll get the one-to-one attention as well. And you can also ask queries inside this course. So you can search for SQL over here, and you can buy this course, SQL Foundation self-paced course, if you are having trouble with SQL. By the way, this whole course is enough for you to be able to understand any kind of SQL. Like we are working on SQL, MySQL, right? So even if you try to learn SQL Lite, it's not gonna take a long time. It's gonna take 2 or 3 minutes, because the syntax is very little changed inside all of these different SQLs, and that's how you can use multiple kind of SQLs, right? So in this course, I have used the MySQL queries, and you can also use the SQL Live over there. Okay. So at the end of this course, I'll show you the implementation of MySQL using the Google Forms. So do check out the videos, right? And I think that is it for this video, guys. And I'm sure you'll purchase some of these courses, which are really amazing. And I'll see you in the next one. See ya.